Hello there, collectors. It is Steven here with the final Rampage review. No, we got one more after this. This is the Big City Brawl Georgie review. Yeah, Georgie boy's finally growing up, and here we are where he's finally being able to terrorize a city. But at this price point and for this monkey of a figure, is it worth the 15 bucks? Is it worth the shelf space? Well, let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. You know what's coming first. We're going to take a look at Big City Brawl Georgie in package. So this way you can see how everything is laid out if you want to take a look at it on the shelf and if you don't know what you are looking for. So nice window display. We can see everything laid out nicely. And on the back of the box, we just have a nice promo shot of George along with some other things here and there to grab your eyes in case for some reason they haven't flipped backwards on the shelf. And that's synopsis of the movie. You want to read it, go ahead and click on pause, so this way the rest of us can keep on going through, and we don't have to read it. All right? All right. Like Ralph, George here actually does come with another accessory. So we're going to take a look at everything else he comes with first, and then we're going to take a look at George, okay? Okay. So first off, George comes with an army dude. Yeah, so this is a helicopter pilot. Oh, yeah, that's the next accessory that he comes with, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. So the helicopter pilot actually has some nice detailing for the size. The helmet is somewhat believable, even at this size. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed that Leonard was able to do that because generally speaking, that's not something that you're going to keep up with quality. So kudos to them. So for articulation, it's going to be the standard as you should know from Leonard. You're going to have the basic swivel at the neck, shoulder, swivel hinge, bicep swivel, swivel waist and hips, and hinged knees. So you're going to get basic movement out of this guy, which is great because he's going to actually be able to fit into his helicopter, which you'll actually see me do that in a little bit. But anyway, the helicopter for the price is really cool, and it's a very neat accessory to have if you're into the core figures and G.I. Joe stuff. So the helicopter is nice jet black, and it does have some nice shiny metallic parts here and there that are cast in a silver grayish plastic. One thing to note that might be a spoiler for a movie, it does look like we have a Lieutenant Foster and a Lieutenant Douglas on this helicopter, unless, you know, like the boat, this is something that they've used time and time again and they just didn't bother to swap out the decals on it. But regardless, that's pretty nice detailing there that we actually see that people are inside of this helicopter. Now, there's a number 19 up by the main blade there, and the helicopter does come with 2 miniguns, or Gatling guns, would that technically be? I don't know, whatever, attached to it. The back blade on the helicopter is absolutely present, and you can see through the gaps in the blades, but unfortunately, not actually for anything. Yeah, it's just kind of there for show. Now, with the helicopter, we do have a couple of features. Firing missiles? No, you just pop them off and you throw them like that. That's all that they do. Yeah. But what's really cool is the blade does actually spin, as you see me do there, which is always cool to see that there is an actual action feature on things that should have an action feature. And you can also lift open that glass. You can move the handlebar forward there. You can put your Johnny 2x4 into the helicopter like so. And you can put the handle in between his legs and have him actually grasp it, spin that blade, and you can have him fly away. That's right. Just make sure you don't throw it out of a window. Now, one of the other things that George does come with is this barbed wire fence piece. Yeah, pretty cool. So if you, for some reason, want to display any of your kaiju figures in quarantine in some way, shape, or form, or you want to put up that last line of defense for your army guys, this is going to be the piece to do it with. Now here's the star of the show, and we are taking a look at George, and I have to say this is by far the weakest Big City Brawl figure. Quality control issues for Ralph aside, yeah, that face is just one a mother could love, and some of the detailing, it's good. I'm not going to lie there, it's good, but that face is really just off-putting to me for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, you know, Leonard did a very nice job on the rest of the figure. But as we get a closer look at the face, I'm just going to say the face one more time just so this way we can get the word count up there. Not very good. He kind of looks like a gremlin or something. Not very gorilla-like at all. It definitely looks like an otherworldly animal. The eyes also add to that creepy factor. So, yeah, sorry, Georgie boy. Sorry. Anyway, for the rest of the figure, we have some nice detailing on what was not seen on the canister contact, George, as we do have some spots on the chest, which is great. This is either a sign that as we increase in size, we're able to increase in quality, or that's going to be a feature that George will develop as he mutates further on into the movie. So with the rest of the detailing, I have to say that the white-ish dry brushing on top of the gray paint on top of the pink base is really nice. They sculpted the fur really well, and the overall detail quality for George is very, very well done considering the price point and the fact that the face really does detract from everything. Yep, I said it, now I'm going to keep saying it. I don't like the face on this figure. Everything else is fine. Put a bag on it. Oh, hey, I wonder where I got the original idea for Godzilla 2014. And it's pretty good. Other than that, yeah, you know, it's not going to be the glorious piece on your shelf. But what is kind of sort of cool about Georgie here is that he does have some articulation, but not too much. You see, just like the canister contact George, he does have a couple of cuts in him where you think, okay, a swivel joint would be there, along with Lizzie and even Ralph in some points. But you know what? No, not all points are articulated on him. His ankles do have a little bit of movement to them, but not much. His legs don't move at all. His left arm is pretty much completely stationary and can't even move him at the wrist. But his right arm has the action feature, where if you move it up and you slam it down, then that mouth is going to open and close, along with him slamming his arm down. Now the cool thing is that there's also a hinge there, so this way you can move George's arm around too a little bit if you want. Now here's a quick look at the Big City Brawl George alongside the Canister Contact George, and as you can see, not only is there a difference in size and details, there's also a difference in some features. Not too much though, because a gorilla is a gorilla as a gorilla is a gorilla, but that face does definitely get worse on the Big City Brawl George. And I gotta say, when we get to Mega George later, as you'll see, it actually does look a little better. So yeah, here's something to take into consideration when you want to pick up the one George figure in the shorter scale that is for you. And finally, a size comparison where you can see the 3 Big City Brawl figures alongside some other figures you just might have. So as you can see, George here actually is friendly to the 6-inch scale format, more so than Ralph and Lizzie, but at the same time, he still is rather large. If you want to get this guy, you're going to have to clear off a little less shelf space than the other two, but still, he's a big one. So, buy now, skip, or wait for that deal. While I do believe that George here is a nice display piece in that mostly fixed posed, I do think he's the weakest of the 3 Big City Brawl figures overall. Lizzie had the really cool factor going for her with the size and the crocodile, and Ralph with the wolf and having nice detailing, whereas George here is, well, he's an albino gorilla. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a not Kong stand-in. Unfortunately, if you're looking for a 6-inch style Kong-like figure, you're going to probably just want to go with a King Kong. But regardless, the Big City Brawl George is pretty cool, and having the other add-on factors like the helicopter so you can take some neat sky shots with, if you want to take a perspective shot, is really cool. But beyond that, I do feel like the other 2 Big City Brawl figures are the better value here. Don't get me wrong, this is nice, and if you're going to go for the full mutation display, you're going to need to have him, but I do feel that he is really dragging down the pack for the other 3. Not my favorite Rampage figure released, but at the same time, he really isn't that bad. This is our classic monkey hero, George. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links, like the credits for this video, and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.